party leader speaking. Also, you've been holding forth and speaking briefs on behalf of a DStv party, shaking your head. But I thought maybe we should try and scrutinize some of the issues that are being raised here. When you talk about the NTSA and Pesa Print company that is connected to the president and his children, these are serious allegations. And then you're coming to say that we will tell Kenyans not to go and have the vehicles inspected. We wonder, under what authority will you be doing this? But is there any stitch of evidence to support what he's saying? You're holding a press conference. This is a serious allegation. You're a consummate lawyer. Let's just begin from there.
Thank you very much. Now, I cannot speak for him. I do not speak for DCP either. I just happen to have a ground that is informed by objectivity. I do not support any policy, whether by DCP or UDA or DM or whatever, that is anti-people, anti-human, anti-democracy or democratic institutions, because Article 4 of the Constitution says that Kenya will be a multi-party democracy. I do not hold forte for any of those politicians. But what I do say is that everybody is entitled to express an opinion. That opinion should not be castigated unless it is defamatory of someone or it is inciting anybody to propaganda for war, or that is against public policy. Now, I can't speak for His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua on that score. However, the NTSA, as indeed all other institutions in government, have been, in my view, hijacked. Mm-hmm. They are no longer serving the Kenyan people.
Allow me just to butt it before you even gravitate to NTSA, because I'm thinking when you're holding such a and I want just to come to Wilberforce then before you gravitate that deeper to NTSA. When you come with such characterization and allegations of the presidency and you say this is a company, don't we as Kenyans, the right to know where are the documentations? This is it, that you have it. Or you're going to go to the courts and try and challenge this particular initiative by NTSA that is connected to the presidency. I think that's how things should work.
The initiative itself is illegal.
That's what
if you look at the scope that the NTSA is engaging in with this Pesa Print or money print or whatever, when you look at the money print, Pesa Print, the literal interpretation is that this is a money-making venture. If you look, for instance, their so-called speed guns and what they have installed along these corridors, it's all illegal. There is no way the government is entitled to send to you a so-called message imposing a fine. I would just request these NTSA buffs and they who are in the police force trying to enforce such an illegal thing. Have they read the Traffic Act? Have you read Section 118 of the Traffic Act? Now, if you read Section 118 carefully, they tell you, oh, you know, you can be fined and insert fine. But if anybody has received that message and has had that imposition, you know that it's illegal, the bar. Now, the law says, if you do have the ticket that you are imposed on by any traffic police officer, telling you that you have committed some traffic infraction, now you are required to attend court. It's called a notice to attend court, where now you're given the option. You can go to that court that is nearest to where the traffic infraction has allegedly occurred, and you then admit without any trial or any other thing. That's the so-called instant fine. But you have by law to go to court. Now, should the traffic police officer then find your car possibly parked on the wrong side of the road, possibly obstructing the law, that law says that the traffic officer will emblazon on your car that notice to attend court, the so-called instant fine ticket. Now, you are then required to attend court within 24 hours, present yourself, and then the nearest police station. But there is no such thing as a police officer sending you, or the NTSA, or Pesa Print, or you call it money print?
Pesa Print.
Pesa Print, money print, I want to call it, for what it is. To send you an SMS on your phone telling you that you have been fined such and such a fine. It is not possible. Then you find the same NTSA is coming up with these regulations. Now, way back in 2004, the same regulations had been imposed through a legal notice. The Law Society instructed me to file a court case against those regulations. One of the arguments that we raised before the court, which is why the NTSA withdrew those regulations. They withdrew way back. This is not the first attempt. One of the arguments that we posited was, the NTSA has imposed a 4-year cap. Wait a minute. That is discrimination. Where did you get this notion that only 4 years and older ought to be inspected? Why not 2 years old? Why not 1 year old? You can have a brand new vehicle that has a mechanical problem. That vehicle will pose a threat on the road as opposed to a 14, 15, or even 20-year-old vehicle that is properly maintained and kept. So the mere fact that you have this cap of 4-year-old does not guarantee that you will have safety. So what is all this for? They know that the moment you present your vehicle for inspection, you have to pay what is called a booking fee. Now that booking fee is 1,000 shillings as we speak. To get on this platform that is operated by these mandarins that are out there to fleece the Kenyan people, you need to pay 50 shillings of the service fee. Now, you then, after being booked, have then to pay the actual inspection fee, which is another 1,000 shillings. So the problem comes in when you have absolutely no problem with your vehicle's mechanical fitness, because they check your ball joints, your shock absorbers, if you have a crack on your headlights, rear lamps, if they're okay, and so on and so forth. Now that's the mechanical bit of it. This particular inspection officer, the motor vehicle inspection officer, may not be so inclined to let you just go scot-free. If you know what I mean, scot-free means that you didn't bribe anybody. So he then insists that the tread on your tire is not deep enough, and therefore you need to replace your tires. Now you can see that you will then have to go back again, have your vehicle re-inspected, and look at the inconvenience. But all this is a money-making scheme, because if you multiply the number of private vehicles, which the NTSA, surprise, surprise, does not have the exact figure of. I don't know why they do not have the exact figure of, just like they keep telling the Kenyan people, oh, you know, in 2004, we go back to 2004. In 2004, the same NTSA say there were 3,500 people that were the victims, there were fatalities at that time.
Hang on. We'll come to that, because I think also that could be informing this particular action.
No. That's not what is informing it.
No, because I think they have a strategy from the Ministry of Interior, owing with the numbers that are, they've been burgeoning and climbing up since, I think, even 2019, right? But I want just to welcome Mheshimiwa here just to give a reaction.